Welcome. Stick around if you want to learn about the art and philosophy of beautiful movement mixed with evidence-based exercise science. We will be having tough and inspiring conversations with other coaches, experts, artists, and athletes. Our goal is to challenge myths, explore concepts, and engage in healthy debate as we dive deep with intrigue and curiosity. I'm your host, Hannah Deutscher. I've been teaching dance, Pilates, and yoga for over 2 decades. And what I've learned is that movement can be the joy that integrates us all together. When we can trust and express ourselves through our bodies, we are unlimited in our ability to change ourselves and our communities for the better. We, as movement teachers and coaches, have the power to help people experience this for themselves. Okay, everyone, let's dive in. Exchanging ideas and changing people's lives one session at a time. This is the Pilates Exchange. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Pilates Exchange. Today we are going to be exploring the idea of Pilates Body, this mythical creature that's out there. And this is something that we've talked about a little bit before, but I'd like to dive a little bit deeper into this. So maybe this episode is a little bit more for the students and less for the teachers, but I think it's a good thing to just sort of uncover a bit. So this is an idea that's coming up. Actually, one of my lovely clients asked specifically the question about if he was going to have a Pilates body and what is that? And so I'd like to just dig a little bit deeper into maybe what we mean, what it could mean, and what's possible and what's not possible, because I think it's a really interesting. And here we go. The first thing I have to say is that the idea of the Pilates body, at least the one that's been sold to us on social media and regular media and commercials and maybe different websites from Pilates studios that are trying to sell the idea of why you should do Pilates. Some of that verbiage that's around it is exactly for that. It's for selling something to you. And I would like to push back on that and say the Pilates body, air quotes, that has been sold, it might not be a physical possibility for what you are looking for. So when digging a little bit deeper on what that image looks like, what does a Pilates body look like? Are we going back into that idea of like it has to be for the ladies, you have to be so and so tall and really thin, and the word that I absolutely hate, toned, and or is it like a composite of all the different things that you've seen together? Like, is it like, is it just like an idea that's been photoshopped in your brain of all, like, what does that body look like? Or if it's for the gentleman, is it the 6-pack? Is it the, this or that? Or what kind of is that look that you're looking for? So there's that aspect of it. A lot of the times that we've talked about the influence of dance on dance and athletes in the Pilates world. And because there are so many dancers that are there, we have to also think about the dance body is something that, fortunately, unfortunately, whatever it has been, if you make it to a professional dancer, it's because you have the genetics that have allowed you to get that far. Plus, of course, your hard work and your discipline and your dedication and like all those things, and just the sheer luck of it and the sheer luck of not getting injured early on in your career. Okay, so there's a lot of factors that are going into it. But what I'm saying is there's sort of a natural selection that is going on that forces the people with a certain endomorphology, I think that's the right word, of the certain body shape that lets the dancer be the dancer. Same thing like if you are a female Olympic gymnastics athlete, your body looks a certain way. If you are a 100-meter Olympic sprinter, your body looks a certain way, like by and large. Of course, there's always exceptions to that rule. Swimmers have, this sort of very similar, not always, but very similar body type when you're going to an elite category of competition. So now what happens is that when we get out of dance, and there's many of the dancers that become Pilates teachers, we carry with us sort of like what our genetics are and sort of just the end result of a career of what that was. And so I don't want you as the Pilates student to get confused about what that body is, the ones that, maybe the teachers, and this is why I push for having, as many different teacher bodies out there. It's really important, if you're a teacher and listening, is to be teaching Pilates and it's not just dancers. That is really, really important. Please go out there, teach your classes, because Pilates is accessible for every single body. It's great for every single body. And I don't want us to measure the success of this method based on a arbitrary look that's out there. I want to measure the success of, is this method working for you, on other factors. Are you getting stronger? Not the word toned, but are you getting stronger? And that's measurable, right? Like, are you able to do more reps of whatever exercise than you did before? Are you able to push more springs? Are you able to lift more weights? How's your balance getting? How's your posture? Do you have less pain? How's your flexibility, your mobility? Like, all of those things are a better measure of success than, does our body fit this shape, someone else's shape, a photoshopped shape even. I hope this is making sense. So if we were to shift the conversation and shift that focus back into, okay, what can this method actually do for me? We're going to be happier with it in the long run. Because we can't make a promise that the method is going to change your body shape, especially if we go back and think about, okay, if we're looking at the dancer body, dancers and other athletes, we would literally work out for 8 hours a day. Unless you're a professional athlete, you don't have time to do that. We're like normal people, we're lucky and we hope to get to, maybe an hour a day. That would be fantastic if you fit that in, but it is most certainly not 8 hours a day. So there's a big difference there. We don't want to be working out 8 hours a day, unless it's your full-time job. Yeah, you get that. So if someone is new to Pilates in that first up to about 3 to 6 months, there's this thing that happens that sometimes the student gets a little bit frustrated because either they're looking for a crazy change in their body that's not really happening, or they're starting to realize, hey, there's exercises that I can't do yet. And sometimes that can be really frustrating, right? And so I would like to shift that focus, saying that strength takes time. It really does take time and consistent effort to change. Same thing with any of this, whether it's flexibility, whether it's your posture, it takes really consistent effort over a long period of time. And I don't want you to just throw in the towel at an early time period. I want perhaps to shift the focus on, can we get for today 1% better than yesterday? So if it's not getting the roll up, or maybe it's not the teaser, you can't do it yet, can you just focus 1% more on it than you did yesterday? Like, if that is practiced consistently, then over the period of time, you're going to be getting so much better. And then in 6 months, in 8 months, in a year, you're not even going to recognize that extreme transformation that you're having within your own practice. And that 1% might not be just in the Pilates studio. It might be that you ask your teacher, hey, what's the one best stretch that I need to be doing to, achieve this thing? Or what is the one, the 5 minutes of extra work that you can do on your own? Because if you're coming into the studio only one time a week or a couple times a week, that's going to be hard. It's better than nothing. 100%, it is better than nothing. And every step that you take, every little bit of movement that you integrate into your life is better. Every little bit, a little bit more, a little bit more. But if we look into where else in your daily life can you apply the skills that you are learning in your Pilates classes to stand up taller, or, take little movement snacks into your day. Maybe if you have a desk job, can you stand up, once an hour, get your body moving for 1 minute or 2 minutes? Can you take the stairs? All of those little incremental movements during your day is going to start adding up. Can you be more mindful during that time? So all of those types of little 1% go into your, let's call it like your health bank. And we want to fill that up always. Whether it is the movement, we're movement proponents, but if it's having the glass of water instead of the soda? Is it taking the 2 minutes for a breathing exercise or a meditation? Is it, all of these little decisions come together to make a healthier life. And the work that you put in now, just like a bank, the work that you put in now will gather its interest for 10 years from now, 20 years from now, because the work you do now is important for the future. It's not important if you get the teaser. It is important if you're moving your body now. It is important if you're getting stronger. We need muscle mass. It is important if you're having challenges that stretch you a little bit further. All of that is going to lead to a healthier life, not just for right now, but in the future. And that, I'm sorry to say, is very hard to look into your magic crystal ball to see what that pays out. But all the statistics say that, all the research goes into moving now is going to improve your life, not just now, but in the future. And I want you to have a healthy, happy body. I want you to enjoy the skin you're in. I want you to enjoy the body you're in and the movement that it is capable of producing. And the only way that we can do that is if we start to focus more on yourself and your own experience that you're having in your body, not an external shape, not whatever shiny, glamorous thing you've conjured up either in mind or the social media or the advertising agency has cooked up for you. Because those aren't real. Those aren't going to bring you the type of health that you hopefully are looking for in your life. So I'm sorry to say, in my opinion, a Pilates body, it's a mythical creature. It's like a unicorn. I don't think it's out there. Sorry for those of you who love unicorns. But the good news is that you already have the Pilates body. You already have the tools. If you're moving your body, if you're taking your Pilates classes or yoga, whatever you've decided to do to make you happy in your movement, keep on doing it. That is your ticket for success. So, all my students out there, go book your next class. Go book your next workout. Go work out at your home. Go take a walk. Do something today that 1% more than you did yesterday, because it is worth it. You are worth it. Have a wonderful day, my friends. See you next week.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. A great cost-free way of supporting us and the podcast would be to give us a 5-star rating. You can also look down into the show notes and grab any one of the free resources for teachers. I hope to see you next week on the Pilates Exchange. Happy teaching, everyone.